Hello students, I am Dr. PC Cambodia, Associate Professor in the Department of English, BSR Government Arts College, Alwar, Rajasthan. This video is for the students of MA Final English Literature Paper First Principles of Criticism. In this video, we discuss The Empire Writes Back by Helen Tiffin, Bill Ashcroft, and Gareth Griffiths. Empire Writes Back reminds us of the colonial times and the times of decolonization. Britishers by nature are explorative. They took their vessels and ships and started roaming in different directions in the sea. They came to African continent and they also came to Indian subcontinent and they also reached the United States of America. Of course, at that time it was known by the name of the continent North America and South America. When these Europeans they came to the African continent, they noticed that entire African continent was rich in mineral resources like gold and also in timber wood and also in some other products like natural rubber which used to grow over there in form of the sap that came out of the rubber plant. So these Europeans, I can say that they were the French, the Britishers, the Spanish. They surrounded the entire African continent and started developing their colonies that were the coastal areas. Started developing colonies means they grabbed their land and then they started taking those resources to their own native countries. And in order to avoid the struggle in between the early European settlers who were known as colonizers, they had the Berlin impact. It means that they will not fight against each other for the grabbing of their land and they had their own settlement. This process of colonization started from the very beginning of the 18th century. And when these settlers, who were the colonizers, who were mainly the Europeans, they entered the interior parts of African continent, then they had the struggle with the settlers who were the native settlers. They were the Negroes or the black race, or now they are called as colored people. Then it was the question of identity. Identity assigns us a name, a nationality, ethnicity, and our own perfect name and then our introduction. Nowadays, it is quite common to have identity card. But at that time, it was known with the help of regions also. Identity means I against the others, and it has a lot of meaning in our social setup. Aristotle says that any person who has nothing to do with his identity in a social setup is either a god or a beast. We can understand the meaning of our identity as explained by the great teacher Aristotle. After identity, we come to know about race. As we know that race separates a group of people from the group of the other larger number of people on the basis of their color, body features, and the ethnic specialties like, say, language or their shape of face and features. Language also comes under this ethnicity. And then this ethnicity gives birth to race. There are several races in our world. Now, these races are becoming overlapping, and there is one issue of organic identity. But when these races are moving from one part of the world to the other part of the world because of globalization, because of shifting, or because of transmigration, then that organic identity is corroding. New identities are developing, and these identities, they make the group. Sometimes the writers are also interested in these identities. They want to write their literature keeping in focus particular identities. There should be a check on the writers who keep their writings under the control of identities, because sometimes they create bloodshed and violence. Identities should be made use of in literature in order to develop harmony, love, and friendship. So, one of the factor that influenced this colonization was identity. And then there were several people who were living in majority races and also in minority races. Say, for example, a black writer who migrated to the United States of America was living in a major race of white people, whereas he himself was a person belonging to a black race that was in minority. People should be friendly to each other. And we can understand by another example that N. Ngugi Thiong'o, who is a writer from South Africa, and when he migrated to United States of America, then he was living in a major white race while he himself belonged to a minor black or colored race. So is the example of J.M. Coetzee, who was living earlier in South Africa, and he was white, but he was a person belonging to minority white race living in between the majority black race. So there should be a harmony in between the relationship of both these races, because sometimes a particular race is in majority and a particular race is in minority. Of course, people migrate. As I know that James Coetzee left the South Africa and thereafter he came to the United States of America, started working as a computer scientist and programmer, and then he also left United States of America and he shifted to Australia. He lives in Adelaide and he is still writing literature. So these persons who are writers, they keep on changing their places and they have their own identities attached to them, and identities then later on give birth to races, and races are in either majority or in minority. Then how this colonization kept on influencing literature is yet another issue that comes to us through empire rights back. The Europeans who had a gun in their hand could easily control the black or the brown of the nations where they migrated. So they could control, suppress them, crush them with the help of that terror of the gun that they carried in their hands. But they kept on influencing them through literature. And this literature was the literature of hallucination. Hallucination means creating devils, ghosts, and nymphs, nixies in literature, and to induce terror in the colonized people. Because when they will read such literature, they will be under the fear, they will not raise any question. We can find so many examples. Say, for example, in a novel, Life and Times of Michael K. by J.M. Coetzee, Michael K., who is the chief protagonist of this novel, Life and Times of Michael K., takes his mother in the times of war from one place to the place where she was born, but in between the way she becomes ill and she is hospitalized and she dies. But Michael K., even after her death, sees his mother's ghosts and devils. And these ghosts and devils are also there in the literature that was created in the times of colonization. So hallucination is a characteristic of the colonized literature. And then we come to know that rapes were also there by the majority community. Say, for example, a white person, because he was empowered by law and administration. Of course, he was not legally empowered, but because of hegemony, because of power and politics, he was empowered powerfully, so he could rape the black ladies. And when the persons of the black race who were male came to know about such races, they also became violent. So there was bloodshed and enmity that was caused. These rapes are also one of the occurrence of colonial literature. We come to know about such rapes in several novels that were written during the times of colonization, and I would like to quote one example for such rapes from the times of decolonization. We read about one of such case in the novel The Heart of the Country by Coetzee. There is a farmhouse, and the white person is the owner of that farmhouse. He has a black person who works over there, and he is a slave. His name is Hendrik. He has a wife, and then that wife, who is a black lady, is raped by the owner of that farmhouse. And the daughter to this farmhouse, Magda, knows about this secret love affair or undeclared rape in between her father, who was white, and the black lady. But when the husband to this black lady, Hendrik, comes to know about it, Hendrik commits a rape with Magda. So, such cases of rapes in between the majority community and minority community were also there. Persons of black races were taken to the European countries, and they were sold as slaves. Slaves were also under the control of the masters. Masters enjoyed power and politics, whereas slaves could not enjoy power and politics. So, this struggle in between the slaves and the master was yet another characteristic of the colonized period. But as the time passed, those countries that were colonized asked for their freedom, and by the freedom was granted, and they could also control the power, and they got decolonized, or freedom was sought to them. In the next video class, we shall be taking the role of cultural theorist in the empire writes back, or the times of colonization and decolonization. Thank you so much.